So we all have our little rituals to stay private online, right? But what if I told you that most of those steps, well, they might not be doing exactly what you think they are? We all know the typical playbook for covering our digital tracks. Let's walk through it.
You know how it goes. You finish browsing, you hop into your settings, and poof, your local browsing history is gone. It's kind of like digital hygiene 101. And then, of course, you've got cookies, those little bits of data that follow you all over the internet. So a lot of us just set our browsers to block them, hoping we won't see that same pair of sneakers haunting us on every single site we visit.
And for that feeling of real privacy, we pull out the big gun, Incognito mode. I mean, that little icon with the trench coat and the glasses, it feels like you're putting on an invisibility cloak for the web, doesn't it?
Well, here's the catch. Even if you do all of that, you delete your history, you block cookies, you go full incognito, websites can still often figure out that it's you. Not by your name or your login, but just by the browser you're using.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? If it's not the cookies and it's not your history, then how on earth are they doing it? Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, we have to talk about the biggest myth out there. This idea that incognito mode makes you totally anonymous. It really doesn't.
So here's the deal. What Incognito is actually built for is to stop your browser from saving stuff on your computer. It gets rid of your local history and clears out cookies after you close the window. But here's what it absolutely does not do. It doesn't hide your IP address from websites, and it definitely doesn't stop them from collecting data while you're visiting. That was never its job.
This is the key thing to remember. Incognito mode is there to protect you from, say, a family member who uses your computer after you. It's like cleaning up a room after you've left. It doesn't make you invisible to the people who are actually in the room with you. And on the internet, the websites are always in the room with you.
Okay, so if incognito mode isn't the cloak of invisibility we thought it was, what's really going on? This is where we get into a really powerful idea called browser fingerprinting.
Think about it just like a real fingerprint. It's a unique pattern of ridges and swirls. A browser fingerprint is pretty much the same thing. It's a unique profile built from all the little pieces of data your browser automatically shares with every single website you go to. It lets them pick you out of a crowd without ever having to leave a cookie on your machine.
And what kind of data are we even talking about? Well, it's stuff that seems totally harmless, you know? Things like your operating system, what browser you're on, your screen size, the fonts you have installed, even your time zone. Individually, each of these things is super common.
But here's where the magic happens. Sure, millions of people use Chrome on Windows, but how many of them have the exact same screen resolution as you? And the exact same list of fonts? And the same language settings? The same plugins? When you start adding all those common details together, you end up with a combination that is, believe it or not, incredibly unique. So why is this combination so specific? I mean, what makes your device so different from the millions of others that seem, on the surface, to be exactly the same?
It all boils down to tiny little variations. Seriously, no two devices are perfectly the same. You've got slight differences in your hardware, you've installed different programs, you've tweaked your settings just so, and you've set up your browser with your own extensions and preferences. All those little choices create a pattern that's statistically one of a kind. All right, now for what is maybe one of the most brilliant and kind of creepy methods out there. It's called canvas fingerprinting. And it's almost like a website is asking your computer to quickly sketch a picture of itself to prove its identity. So here's how it works. A website quietly tells your browser to draw a hidden picture. Now, the way your specific computer draws that picture depends on everything unique to it. Your graphics card, your drivers, your OS, they all leave their mark. The result is an image with tiny microscopic differences that you'd never see, but they're there. And finally, the website takes that unique image data and converts it into a special code, a hash. And just like that, you have a canvas fingerprint.
And this is why it's so effective. It completely gets around things like cookies or local storage. It doesn't matter if you're in incognito mode because it's not reading something that was stored, it's testing how your system behaves right now. Your computer is going to draw that picture the same way, private window or not.
Now, when you hear all this, it's easy to jump to the conclusion that this is all just for creepy, invasive advertising. But the tech itself isn't necessarily evil. It actually has some really important, legitimate uses. For instance, your bank might use it to detect fraud. If someone suddenly tries to log into your account from a device with a totally new fingerprint, that's a huge red flag. It's also great for spotting bots. But of course, there's the other side of the coin. It's definitely used for targeted ads and for tracking what you do across different sites, even when you aren't logged in.
So, what's the big picture here? The reality is that online tracking has evolved way beyond the simple stuff we're used to. It's now possible to be identified without ever logging into an account, without accepting a single cookie, and without leaving a shred of history on your own machine. When you boil it all down, it comes to this one powerful idea. The tool you use to see the web, your browser, with all its unique little quirks, has basically become your ID card.
And that's really the final thought to chew on. In this new digital world, you don't need to sign in to be recognized. Sometimes all you have to do is show up. Thanks for tuning in.
We are about to reach 100 subscribers. Please like, share, and subscribe to complete the target.